Well, good morning, everybody. Here we are, first week of May. We survived the freezing cold weather that was the beast from the east, remember that? We then broiled ourselves the other day in record temperatures over the bank holiday weekend. The mighty West Ham found that there were at least 3 teams in the Premier League that were worse than they were. So I think it's time for another one of my In Practice blogs. Well, as I say, here in May 2018, things are hotting up, not just the weather. The MTD for VAT trial is just about beginning to move along and get underway. It's really interesting about MTD for VAT. All we keep hearing about is MTD driven by the fact that it's all about errors and carelessness. And let's not lose sight of the fact that whichever way you provide your VAT return, the VAT return was still going to consist of the self-same 9 boxes. You're not having to send any more information other than what was on the 9 boxes. So we're led to believe that so many people were making so many errors, keying in 9 boxes, that this had to be changed. I don't know if that's true, but obviously what we now have a situation is that your digit's not supposed to touch the keyboard in order to submit the 9 boxes, but of course you're going to be putting in all your digits are going to be touching keyboards as you're making entries along the line, even with the march of automation. So I'm really not seeing this MTD for VAT going to cut back on errors and carelessness. I think we might find there are different errors and carelessness, but here we are, as I say, May 18, the trial's beginning to start, but as yet no one has seen the wonderfully entitled by one of the ladies on an ICAEW webinar who called it hocus pocus software. We've not yet seen, have we, the wonderful linking or bridging software that's supposedly going to link from your spreadsheets or your non-MTD compliant software to the API to file it. We've not even seen it. We don't even know what it's going to cost, if there's going to be any cost whatsoever, and there's only a year to go. Sometimes you just have to shake your head and go, good grief. Well, as I say, here in May 18, it is definitely getting warmer, thank goodness. But one of the things that gets me a bit hot under the collar is HMRC's attitude to us as accountants, or agents as they like to call us. It does leave an awful lot to be desired. Yes, we've all heard the rhetoric, haven't we? Oh, we value the work that you do. But yeah, let's take a recent case in point. Back in January, when the January hiatus was at its peak, and we were all filing VAT returns away like mad and trying to get our clients compliant, save them fines and penalties. It transpired that, I'll make sure I get the figures right, it transpired that there were 4.8 million tax returns filed in the month of January. And what did HMRC put out? HMRC have once again surpassed its record for tax return completions. So they've once again surpassed their record. No mention, not a mention of the fact, that over 3 million of those returns were filed in the month of January by accountants on behalf of their clients. And just think, there's 4 million tax returns filed in January. So the amount of work and effort gone in that period by accountants to get their clients compliant and save them fines was significant. HMRC make any mention of that? No, they're so full of themselves, it's all about their success. It does make me hot and bothered sometimes. I'd like to bring to your attention something that I think could be very important for our profession going forward, that's only recently been launched, and that's namely Women in Accountancy. Check out the website www.womeninaccountancy.com. Launched by a lady I've had a lot of time for, namely Elaine Clark of Cheap Accounting, who recognised early on in the year, I think it was at Accountex North, that how few lady presenters there were on all the main stages, and voiced her concern. Fortunately for Elaine, the people at Accountex said okay, gave her a stand, as it were, to make her thoughts available. And you know what? The place was ramped out. And it's shown to Elaine, and it's shown to everyone what I think sensible thinking people would recognise, that there are not enough women in accountancy, and those that are not moving through the ranks and getting into positions of authority as easy as the men. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail because obviously this thing has just started by Elaine, and the movement is just beginning to get going. So there's a lot to sort of flesh out as the time goes on. But as an accountant in practice and an employer, to me, as we see the march of entrepreneurship within women within the country, it would be great if we had more women in accountancy rising through the ranks, because obviously we have women clients, and it would be good if we had women accountants. That's at one simple level and a very small level. Can I just suggest that if you are a lady in accountancy, if you are thinking that maybe you haven't had the best of time of it, check out womeninaccountancy.com. Have a look. There's a survey Elaine's put on there to see what people really do feel about this. And I think actually, in her capable hands, this could be a movement for good for the whole profession. I really do. So check it out.